It's a brisk winter's morning in Central Otago, and with back-to-back bluebird days in the forecast, the team have decided to head out to the hills for a bit of alpine therapy. But given the country we're heading into, our trusty Polaris is going to require a bit of a modification, because in the words of Doc Brown, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Ready to go. We're in snow mode now. Boys down at Wanaka Power Sports have just slipped on the Polaris snow tracks. And we're going to be hitting some hopefully powder and snow up in the mountains here. Good novelty really, to us. Looking forward to see how it performs. Too easy. Yeehaw.
Joining me for this wee escapade are Anto Hall and Marty Very from Red Stag Timber.
So we're off on a pretty full-on midwinter adventure this time round. While we don't like doing things twice here on the Red Stag Timber Hunters Club, we've actually been in this area before. I was here a few years ago with Curly, but in the middle of summer. This time we've got a new Polaris and some new shoes for it. Yeah. It's a beautiful time of year, heaps of snow around, and it just makes you feel like it's paradise when you've got a sunny day in snow. We've got 2 or 3 days up our sleeves, so you get into the snow, making the use of the machine and pitch a camp. We could drive up and have a look, but
now, it'd be worth it, I think, just in case. We'll go for a bit of a scout just up to the base of where the snow really starts, just scope it out. Oh no! You trashed him, man. Get a photo there. It's good times. Yeah.
So we just punched our way right up to the very top of where we're hunting and just checking out really the snow levels and what's going on with the area before we decided we were going to camp. There's certainly no shortage of snow, and most of the animals, or the trails that we've been seeing tracking, have been a bit lower as expected. So our tactic's generally going to be coming around from the cold side, looking over on top of animals on the sunny faces.
The short scouting mission into the tops doesn't provide any evidence to warrant making a base camp up in the deep snow, so we make the call to drop back down and pitch a comfy camp in the lower country.
Well, we sort of spent the day sort of checking things out. We've just pitched ourselves a really bulletproof campsite for the next 3 days. We've got about an hour left of light, so we're going to go see if we can find something that's worth a bullet.
Or an arrow. Or an arrow. Or a lupo. Woohoo! Slippery, isn't it?
That's it, man. I'm breaking out the gloves. I reckon 0 degrees, fresh off the boat from Australia. I'm breaking out the gloves.
Seen a big stag. It's a long way up. Way up. See where the creek goes up and starts to fan out at the very top before the knob. It's quite a nice stag up in there.
Oh yeah.
To his eagle eyes.
He's got a hind in front of him. Good snow stag.
Gee, Anto's doing a bit better spotting the snow than I am, bloody hell.
Well, it's always nice to see animals on the first evening. In this case, a stag and a few hinds. Definitely too far for us to even consider chasing, so we're just going to keep pushing while we've got a bit of light and see what else is around.
Whoa! Be interesting coming down here, mate. At night, eh? Like if we hunted up there. Oh, shit.
As evening draws in, we climb higher to open up a view into some new country, but it seems there's little to get too excited about.
We're down to the last hour or so of light, so we might make something pay, get a meat animal, at least get something on the board.
Unfortunately, nothing shows itself in the final minutes of shootable light.
Watch this, bro. Nice.
In midwinter, it makes life a whole lot more bearable having a bulletproof camp to return to, especially given there's nearly 14 hours of darkness per day at this time of year. So having a warm fire and a few creature comforts certainly helps pass the time.
Precision hunter right there. Every time I have it in a hunt, I think I should take this home and eat it. You know, at home.
I'll be honest, like I've been left short a couple times in the morning with the kids, and I'm just running in the bloody hunting packs and just whipped out some backcountry hot water. Here you go, kids. Supreme porridge and cooked breakfast.
So So we got up pretty sharp this morning and, as expected, woke into a beautiful day. Makes it really cold, but we're going to push out the back, try and find some stags that are grouped up and see what's among them. Must be getting icier, eh? Pushed our way up to the tops. It's just beautiful weather and this terrain just looks awesome. So we're just going to get straight into hunting, backpacks on and just mission off for the day. So we've got some height and we're just making our way out across a ridge, looking into what would be the sunny face shortly. We've picked up a few deer, so now we're just trying to find it, see if we can see a stag.
We've gained a bit of elevation to sort of stay on top of the only problem is the wind's drifting down at the moment, so we might stand off for a bit and let the wind change. Bloody brass monkeys, it's cold. I've seen a few animals already, but we've got plenty of daylight hours ahead of us, so hoping to find a decent winter stag. Not quite acclimatised to the deep south. Beautiful country, and we've got awesome weather to boot. Hopefully Anto's eagle eyes find us a good morning stag.
It's not long before the first animals of the day are spotted, but they're not exactly what the team are looking for. So as the morning progresses, we make our way further along the ridgeline, glassing into each new fold, hoping to lay eyes on something with a bit of timber. But despite a favourable breeze and perfect conditions, nothing is seen.
The morning's been pretty slow really. We've been seeing a few hinds and not getting too much on camera really. But it's quite typical this time of year. When you find one stag, you'll find a bunch, but that means you're not seeing them too regularly either. So it's just a matter of finding a sort of nice sunny spot where they'll be hanging out and just mooching around.
Following a fruitless morning glassing session, we make the call to head back up into the higher reaches.
Another big hunk of ice around here, bro.
So we're just coming down a bit of a tricky spot. It's interesting just learning how the machine goes. It's a lot better than we probably expected. No worries.
Whilst the tracks allow the vehicle to navigate icy patches that a wheeled machine would quickly come unstuck in, they really come into their own up here in the deep snow.
I reckon this sunny face will be back in behind us on the right, so we'll stop through here, just around the corner and look into it.
That sounds good.
Here somewhere, I reckon.
Whilst we're having an absolute blast ripping around the frozen wilderness, there's little to get excited about on the hunting front. There aren't many tracks in the snow to indicate the passage of animals, so we continue making tracks of our own.
Well, the hunting's a bit slow, but I tell you what, we're making fast tracks up on the snow line. The old Polaris is getting us well on our way, but hopefully we can do some more glassing. It's allowing us to get them some pretty gnarly country that we'd never be able to get up to, so yeah, stoked.
After the fun and games blasting our way up into the tops, getting down the steep zigzag track is a little more precarious. I've got to be careful here not to lock up on the descent, which will quickly turn the Polaris into a toboggan.
Yeah, this looks like a hind. Just gone out of view now. I could only see its body. And where it goes right to the very bottom, you've got a little bit of snow on the right-hand edge. Oh, yeah, it's spiker. So we've just done quite a big mission, spending most of the day just travelling. Looked into a lot of gullies, seen a heap of hinds, but nothing worth chasing yet, but just being out here is pretty spectacular.
Serious fall drive, I can tell you that.
We're just making our way down. It's been pretty exciting stuff. Like the first time I've been in a machine with tracks. It's amazing how well it grips the ground. Here's a whole mob of reds just up on the hill, and there's a stag in front of us.
Oh, you are too, yeah.
Not quite what we're looking for still. We're looking for a mature animal at the moment. really struggled today. We just keep seeing hinds.
I mean, there's definitely no shortage of deer, but just trying to find those mature stag mobs, eh?
There's a stag. I can see it. Just off that ridge line. Yeah, this looks like a hind. Oh, it's a lucky deer. Frustrating, isn't it? Look at this guts down here too. It's gnarly.
A couple of potential targets are eventually spied just on dusk, but unfortunately, they're just too far off for us to pursue with the available light.
Pretty cool day overall, zooming around the tops of the mountains through the snow. It's been pretty exciting.
Pretty extreme four-wheel driving there. A pretty eventful day, to be fair.
Time to get on the move into camp.
So it's strike two for the team. Here's hoping we can put some points on the board come morning.
Alpine experts. Yeah, my North Island feet need a bit more insulation and stiffness to get me up those steep South Island hills, so went with the Alpine expert. They've held me in pretty good stead over the last couple of days. Another bluebird day down here, so...
They've been pretty good at pushing the throttle down on that bloody Polaris.
Hey, look, when you've got a Polaris with tracks on, mate, you need all the snow protection you can get. It's just madness how capable this thing is, eh? It's incredible.
You know you're fine, mate. You got the good grip on the other side. Just keep it moving, thins out, give it a bit of herb.
Up bright and early again this morning, bluebird day, and much the same plan. We're just going to cover a bit of country. We're just going to start sneaking away around the hill face here, look into some country which we haven't really had a good opportunity to look at yet and see what's around. So we just picked up a young fellow, red hind.
Where there's one, there's four.
We're seeing plenty of animals, they're just not the right flavour. Although on any other day, this chamois buck would be one worthy of a closer inspection.
Righto, let's just push on, boys.
It's bitterly cold down in the icy valley floor, so as the morning drags on, the rising sun is welcome as it warms its way along the shadowy side of the hill that we're hunting.
That's the sort of place you'd expect to find them, eh?
Whole mob up there.
Oh, look at that mob.
There's a whole bunch of fallow there.
With the lack of stags being seen, it's certainly tempting to shift the goalposts and try to bag ourselves a meat animal. But we decide to stick to our guns and hold out in the hope of a big stag showing itself. But again, it's simply not to be. It's another stagless morning, but the lack of success isn't dampening Marty's optimism.
Evening stag, Hawiya pub, back here, another one tomorrow.
Yep, I like the sound of that.
I reckon we'll stumble across stags again where we found those three and a spiker.
So I've been working pretty hard today. Seen a lot of animals, just real young stags or just mainly hinds. So we're coming into the last half hour of light, been glassing, haven't seen much at all. But we have found a couple of nice looking meat animals. So we're thinking we're going to take one of these.
We've been looking for animals high, low, in the snow, down low, in the scrub, in the beach. We've been snowshoeing it all over the place, and it's one of those things about hunting. You think you might have the animals locked down, but you know, there's never one rule that fits all, so it's been a tough weekend, so I might have to bag some meat, I think. Oh, there's a hind and a yearling, and I've been fortunate enough to be given the new Benelli Lupo to test out. I'm not behind the rifle very often, so we're going to give it a bit of a test fire and see if it lives up to all the hype.
314.
All right, you guys ready?
Oh, good hit, man. He's coming down the hill. You smocked him. He's rolling down. Well, that's our camp meat sorted.
Oh, well, the Lupo's earned its first badge.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
There's blood for the wolf. Yeah, got to feed the wolf sometimes, you know.
Well, that sort of does blow our chance of getting a stag, but we've made that decision when we took that animal. We were trying to get some meat, and the job done.
Not quite done.
Not quite, no, it's a big country to climb into yet.
Once I'm over the other face where it was standing, It takes me some time to locate the shot deer. After a bit of a grid search though, I find the animal piled up in the scrub a short distance from the site of impact. And after making a rudimentary backpack, I'm soon on my way back down towards the lads.
Oh, you did well, mate. Got back before it got dark. It's good.
Yeah.
Took a bit of finding, eh?
Yeah. Little tawny coloured deer, so it was well hidden in the tussock up there.
Well, it's good getting a deer down. I'm actually excited to get back to camp and get the fire going in MIA. Warm up a bit. It's freezing while you're waiting.
Yeah, it's freezing cold outside, and yeah, we haven't achieved our aim of bagging ourselves a trophy stag yet, but there's something quite satisfying about the morning routine in winter. There's no need for an alarm clock at this time of year, as you're often killing time, waiting for the light to get up enough to hunt, so you can be a little more indulgent than normal. With a couple of hot coffees under the belt, we eventually saddle up and head back up into the snowy tops for a final roll of the dice.
Up brisk and early today. It's freezing, but it's another cracker day. But today we only got a couple of hours before the boys have to catch flights and get out of here. So we're going to make the most of the morning and see what can happen.
Yeah, still trying to find these snow stags. Trying to get into some new countries. I had to have a hell of a boost up that hill first thing in the morning. It's got the blood pumping, thank God for the dog and gun. Kicked in halfway up, thank goodness for that.
It's like a freezer box up there, but it's all new country that we haven't looked in on the trip, so hoping to chance our arm for a last minute stag.
We're pushed up into this new sort of country, and while there's a few prints around, we just aren't picking up any animals. It is pretty snowy, so there's a good chance they'll just be tucked up on a sunny face somewhere.
You don't get a lot of sunlight in here.
No, better get behind the glass then, boys. Clock is ticking.
I can see a hind just over here sitting down in the snow, about 300 metres away.
Fine time.
Fine time. Could be a stag there.
Love it.
Just Polynesians just aren't made for this kind of conditions, mate. I did my years in the snow.
So these guys are due out of here pretty soon, so it's time to get a little bit more meat. Marty's going to have a crack at a nice looking red from a couple hundred yards.
Time to butt the new hardies. Perfect shot for it, just over 200. See how it goes.
It's stood up. Get ready, guys.
Okay, I can see it.
It's 200, Marty. Yep, the odd CDS is dialed in.
Got a good rest?
Yeah.
Sweet. Tuck it in its shoulder. I'll back you, Marty.
Yeah, good hit, good hit. That thing's going to go down.
Well done, buddy.
Awesome.
That's right. Good stuff.
Oh, like we're talking about, these guys are on tight time frames. It's not uncommon with the boys to get to the last morning and look for a bit of camp meat. Pretty cool. Awesome place to be.
I hate leaving it to the last minute, but amounts of pressure, I guess. Bit of drama.
Good shot.
Are you volunteering recovery duties again, Dre?
Marty's got better bloody shanks on him than me at the moment.
I'll definitely go down.
I quite like the filming it from the drone option.
It may not look like it from the air, but the country sure is steep. So Marty and I take our time on the descent to ensure there's no mishaps. And pretty soon, with the help of the eye in the sky to guide us, we're at the fallen hind.
There it is, mate. She's stacked. Thank goodness for these trees here. She could have gone a long way down if there were no trees in this gut. She's a good sized animal. We've got a hell of a boost getting her back up here. She's near vertical. But about a foot of snow doesn't help, but That's all right, that's what we're here for. Could have been at the office right now, Monday morning, nice cup of coffee. Nah.
Really enjoy this winter hunting. Just when you got these clear sunny days and crisp weather, nothing beats it up in these tops here. It's been a wee bit frustrating not being able to get onto the quality of the animals we've been looking for. It tends to be all or nothing when you're hunting in winter. The stags definitely group up in sometimes quite big mobs. So you just got to keep persisting. And when you do locate a group of stags, it's a fantastic chance to get to look at quite a few at once. And it could be a big trophy amongst them. You can't expect to find them every time though. And getting a couple of meat animals to take home is certainly awesome in itself.
There you go. Chilled venison.
Nicely done, mate.
So while we weren't necessarily successful on a trophy front, I never set out with that expectation, just being out here as a reward. And being able to hoon around in a cool Polaris with tracks, really it's been quite eye-opening as to what this new technology can do.